As always, guys, this is just for entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Netflix reported earnings, and let's have a look on how they did. So their earnings per share was up, revenue is up, net income was up, and they have a pretty good profit margin, 18%. I think they said it might even go to 22%. And they lost users, but they only lost like 900,000 users, and they expected 2 million users, which is what Netflix said themselves. So they overperformed on earnings, they beat analyst expectations, and the stock price has soared. It really soared, guys. Look at that, 26% up in the last month. But does that mean you should be buying as well and get on this lift? Because maybe Netflix could get back to 600, where it was only only not that long ago in January. If anyone would have said in January, hey, Netflix is going to 200, to 170 even, what would you have said? You would have said, well, that's crazy. You are crazy, sir. No, that's not going to happen. But actually, this was the first earnings where it had a huge drop, and then it had the second earnings where it had a huge drop. And this is the first time it responded positive. So let's have a look, and let's do a smaller dive into the earnings report and see what has changed to make the stock boost that much. So what are we seeing? We're seeing a year-over-year growth of 8.6. But also we see a forecast, and this is already a little bit concerning to me. We see a forecast of 4.7. Probably some part of that is related to the stronger dollar. Yeah, not much you can do about that. But they also do forecast an increased growth in members, and this might be what actually boosts the stock up. Not the fact that they lost 1 million subscribers, but the fact that they think their membership will increase a lot. This is really good news for them, but do keep in mind their revenue growth does stay limited to 4.7%, and that's not so high for a growth company. Now they can have a bad quarter, I don't know. Let's have a look at other things. So the forecast that they have here, and this is, yeah, that's what I said in the previous slide. So the US dollar continues to strengthen meaningfully against most currencies at a historic pace. So this is a headwind for all US companies, and especially Netflix. 70% of their revenue comes from outside US. And actually there is a risk that we're going to see this appearing in more US companies. I previously said that the fact that the US dollar is so strong is actually beneficial for companies in other countries. We're thinking European Union. That's why I've been buying European Union stocks probably the last month. I think almost all of them are going to increase guidance. Everyone is very fearful of Russia right now. Don't underestimate the will of the European consumer to lower their gas usage, guys. Russia is not going to tame this lion. We will make it through there. I'm European, by the way, but I do watch Netflix, and I do have a lot of American stocks in my portfolio. And I watch Netflix every day, so it's one of the stocks on my watch list. And if it ever would come to have all the check marks for me to buy it, then I will be buying Netflix. But yeah, it's not yet the case right now, and I'll try to explain a little bit why. So they also talk about the competition, that they're well ahead. They are kind of like, it feels, I saw somewhere in this presentation, that feels like they're lowering their investments. They still have a lower investments in new TV shows than before COVID. Let's see. Yeah, here we see it. So in 2019, they invested quite heavily in self-produced content, but now in 2022, they're doing it a bit less. They're at a low pace. And to be honest, as a subscriber, I'm noticing that. I'm really noticing that there is less content. So yeah, I don't like that. that I have to wait sometimes a month to see some new content. Now in the near term focus, they're talking about increasing their video games, their mobile games. They've grown it to 24, and then they talk about their advertising. So that means their existing plan will remain ad-free, but they want to have an advertising plan as well. They will cooperate with Microsoft for this. They will also look again at the page sharing. They mentioned this before in earnings. They say that this is especially a problem in Latin America where people are sharing a lot. So they're experimenting on how they can deal with that. Now, I would like to look at the price or at some general statistics of Netflix to decide just high level why I'm not buying this. So analysts for Netflix, they're predicting probably around 10% growth, maybe a little bit less. Netflix, you saw yourself now, just for this quarter, they are predicting a 4% growth, 4 to 5% growth for that. And we have to pay pretty dearly for that growth because we are trading at a PE of 18.9, price to sales 3.1, and then we do have quite okay margins. I think, to be honest, I think it's a bit lower than Starbucks, or it's comparable with Starbucks. I have to check that. But yeah, the earnings per share, it's high. They are expensive. They don't give a dividend. How do I know that? Look, compare with a competitor from the European market. This is a company that grows 70% per year. It goes at P 8.5 and price to sales is 1.0. There's a lot more factors in place, of course, but based on the growth, how you could say Netflix has a moat, and that's probably true for the US, but for Europe, I don't know. Like, less than 50% of the Europeans can have a conversation in English, and they just prefer shows in their own language, and that's not something that Netflix has a big offering about. And Click Digital is looking to actually move into that market, and I think they can actually pull it off. So, even though I'm still watching Netflix every single day and I don't see that changing, I'm going to keep on my watch list for now. I think at the moment it's too expensive, but if my thesis should change, it is a company that I love, so then I will be buying Netflix, just not today. Guys, thanks for watching. If you like my video, please like, please subscribe, and see you next time.